Hey, Siap sisters.
It's your virtual sisters, Bianca, aka BB,
Shade or Shade, whichever one floats your boat.
And your girl, Jenny from the pod. And welcome to another episode of She's in the Pod.
The safe space for millennial women.
where we meet bi-weekly to talk life, growth, and sisterhood.
Hello, ladies, and welcome back to a new episode of She's in a Pod.
Yes.
As you can see, today we are joined by a very special somebody.
A very, very special someone.
Yes, we've been meaning to get you on for...
It's been like a year.
Yeah, it actually has.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was during COVID.
When originally
yes.
we wanted to try and get it something in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a long
But
time
now-
coming. But she's here
Yes,
and
we
we're
are.
so excited.
Yes, we are. Do you want to say a quick intro?
Hi guys, my name's Hayley Mulenda. I'm a life liver.
A life liver. I love
I
that.
like that.
A life liver.
You're a speaker, and that's all you have to say about your intro. Come on.
Do you know what the thing is? I think I've got to a place in my life where it's just so easy to kind of describe your life through your accolades. And I think I've become so detached to a lot of the things I've accomplished. Not because I'm not proud or anything, but it's just something I just don't want to find identity in anymore. Do you know what I mean? So I do speak, I do rap, I do all the stuff, but it's not who I am. If that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah,
Like at the end of the day,
yeah.
I just love God. I just like to live.
Yeah.
a life.
I love
liver.
that, because it's true. Like normally, even when people ask me to introduce myself, I just tend to list all the stuff I've done rather than who I am as a person. So that's really interesting. I love
and
that.
it's true. It's like we've been molded to do that. Because even me saying, "Go on, introduce yourself more," because obviously I know how much you've done.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes you just want to just be you. Like,
Yeah.
this is just me. Like, you went on your solo trip. You really are living your life.
Do you know what the thing is? I think as well, because I started speaking from a young age,
Yeah.
I found that I felt like imposter syndrome. It's obviously a heavy thing, right?
Yeah.
Being a black woman, being young, like you're entering into these rooms, you have to prove yourself. So a lot of times I was trying to prove myself with my accolades. So I was kind of like, okay, yes, I've worked with Microsoft, I've been flown out here, done JP Morgan, worked with whatever. I just used to list names, clients, drop like
Right.
whatever I would do. But then it never really validated it never really validated me, if that makes any sense. And I think society always tells you like the only way you're going to be validated is if you name drop, if you basically
Right.
talk about what you've done. But
yeah.
I like a huge thing for me is integrity. Like more than anything, like I don't really care what you've accomplished. Do you live your rap? Like do you live a life? I guess not worth honoring, but I guess worth respecting. So for me, it's the person who I am offline. Like there's Hayley Mulenda,
Love
the
that.
brand, but there's Hales.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I like when it comes to like just where I am in my life, I just want to show more of Hales. Because Hayley Mulenda it's not, don't get me wrong, like Hayley Mulenda is still lit, but it's been a brand. It's my personal brand. Even though it is my name, it's not really like
You
as
maybe
me,
just today, yeah.
So,
No, we get that.
That's
Okay.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, love that.
Okay, so we were talking a bit before we started recording. So I really wanted to find out. I mean, I already get a gist of how you guys met, but we wanted to kind of explain how we each came across you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um,
But before that, this or that.
this
to
or
break
that,
the ice.
yes. Let's
This
do
or
that,
that.
and then we'll
So we're
get
gonna
into
play a
it.
quick game. Have you heard of this or that?
No.
Okay.
It's good.
I know, because when you look like nervous, I'm just like, no. So we're just gonna ask you to choose between two things.
Okay, cool.
You literally have half a second to choose, so don't
Okay.
think too hard. Instagram or Twitter?
Twitter,
Going out or staying in?
staying in,
Big or small wedding?
medium.
That wasn't even an option.
Literally.
But I get you.
Okay, big then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beard or height?
Beard or height?
It's
My
hard.
fiance is like, he's not that tall, but he's got a beard.
Well,
Do you know when he started growing a beard? That's when I started looking at him differently.
Really?
It's the beard.
It's the beard then.
It's beard.
It's a bit I did it.
All right, Jen, go on.
What's next? Wizkid or Burna Boy?
Ooh.
I know it's a
Wiz.
tough one. Wiz.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
just kids.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm interested to hear this one. Plantain or plantain?
Plantain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm African.
Thank you.
Love it.
I had a feeling you'd say that, but you
Yeah.
just never know. People
Yeah.
surprise us.
Okay, podcast or YouTube?
Podcast.
Love that. Vacation or girls trip?
Oh, girls trip.
Yeah.
Ah.
Even though I love my bae, we haven't done a vacation before. To be honest, I haven't
Okay.
done a girls trip either. But the girls, I get it. And the
Get
girls,
it? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Okay.
Love that. Love that.
Love that. So that's that. So yeah, did you want to, since you already started
Yeah.
talking about it?
So the
how
first
did you
time
first come across Hayley?
I came across you, it was definitely online. It was
Okay.
like through social media. But then I think the first time I actually saw you was when you came to speak at my church, and we were
Yeah.
just speaking about that. So it was it was like a mental health conference or something. We were doing like a one-off service, and I remember we were like, who should we get to come in, and then your name came up. We did research and we were like, yeah, let's get Hayley, and it was amazing. And I love how you and my mum clicked as well, because she's a psychiatrist,
Yeah.
and that she works with mental health people. So, well, not daily, but that's her specialty. That's what she studied. So yeah, it was just a beautiful moment, and I said, wow, this girl's gifted.
Wow.
And that was like, how many years ago now?
I think like 2017 or 2018. I think.
Yeah, it
It's
was
been
a while ago. It was a while ago. Yeah, that was my first like real life encounter of Hayley.
Nice. Love that.
Yes.
So for me, it was many years ago. I think, when did I go to uni? 2015. I saw you on socials.
Wow.
You had a book
Wow.
that came out
Yeah,
as well. I think was it AB?
ABC Student Success, yeah.
Yes, ABC's.
What, as in your own book that you wrote?
Yeah,
I
she's
wrote,
an author.
I wrote a book when I was 18.
How did I not know this?
Yeah. I do. I kind of regret it. But I wasn't more
Why?
into like,
Really?
like,
Okay,
Okay.
We'll delve into that.
So yes, I came across you via that, and I was part of my ACS at university, and we really wanted to get you on because I think so. I was a curious officer, so I can't remember what kind of event I wanted to do, but I don't think we ended up getting you on it. But you were definitely, I think we did like a presentation or something like that, and we added you
Oh wow.
amongst the people who were kind of inspirational and the stuff that you were doing at the time. And then since then, I started following you.
Wow.
And I think we've maybe seen each other at maybe one or two events
Yeah.
since then. But yeah, just everything that you were doing in terms of your public speaking was inspiring me as well to go into it. You were one of the first people to inspire me to go into that avenue.
Yeah.
Because it was something that I wanted, but I never had the confidence to do so. So seeing you talk about your journey and doing all the amazing things, like you've spoken in different places. You're an international public speaker. So yeah, that's kind of what inspired me, and that's how I came across you. And
that's
since then I've just been
amazing.
following you, I've been stalking you, and just just like
Oh my god.
yeah, super inspired by everything that you do.
Yeah,
So
that's
man.
actually amazing.
yeah, years.
I'm so touched. I mean, I would definitely say, I was literally saying to my fiance on the way here, like, She's in a Pod is probably, I would say, one of the top 3 podcasts I have a lot of respect for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a
You
lot.
guys, To My Sisters, and Redefining
them.
Wealth with Patrice Washington.
Okay.
Redefining Wealth with Patrice, because Patrice is my mentor.
Okay.
So I would always think, but you guys are To My Sisters. I mean, Courtney and Renee, my girls as
Yeah,
well.
I
But,
love them.
They are doing they are smashing it.
As in,
Smashing
They
it.
have
Like,
created their own lane, and I love the fact that they haven't tried to mold into the clique. Because
yes.
podcasting in London is very cliquey. Let's
I
be
don't
real.
really,
I
I
feel
don't know.
like
Maybe because I don't really call myself a podcaster, so I've never really tried to be. I don't really
Yeah.
know who's the who's who.
Okay,
in podcasting. I mean, obviously, I
okay.
know there's different ones, obviously debate ones and
Yeah,
stuff, the
there's a
receipts
lot.
and but
I feel like when I say clique, I feel like it's like the ones at the top have just stayed at the. When I say top, in terms of the ones everyone talks about, do you know what I mean? And I feel like it's for other podcasts to come and also be well known and be in the front face. You almost have to compromise what you
Yeah.
initially started out to do. And I'm just so grateful that we have not done that. To my
Exactly,
sisters,
yeah.
why I admire them so much, because they have not done that. But they are creating their own lane. They're not trying to fit into any molds or
Yeah.
and I absolutely love that. I just think, yeah, they're amazing. But thank you. That means a lot.
It does,
Because
honestly.
podcasting is not easy. Like,
it's not easy, Sha.
there have been times
you know,
we've
right?
discussed. How many times in the group chat have we said, if it wasn't 3 of us, we probably would have ended by now?
It's
You
just-
know, nah,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So no, thank you.
I appreciate
So you said you regret writing your book.
Yeah, do you know what?
Yeah.
I wrote that book when I was 18.
Mm.
I had just come out of a very toxic relationship.
Right.
I was just come out of a suicidal place as well. And I remember having a mentor at the time who said to me, listen, like, no one's going to listen to your story unless you write a book. That's the only way that you're going to basically become a valid person.
Right.
So in the time that I was meant to more or less be recovering and focus on my mental health, I was writing a book. And for me, I wrote it for validation. I wanted to come and now prove to my ex and all the people that stopped doubting me it's kind of like, yeah, I was once a speaker, but now I'm an author. Chat to me nice.
Yeah.
And I just done it for the wrong. I done it for ego.
Yeah.
I done it for ego. So I've actually, for probably about 4 years, I've never read my book.
Wow.
I don't even have a copy in my house.
Wow.
I don't even promote it. I don't I put there that I'm an author, but I don't actually promote it or anything like that because it's just not a reflection of where I am right now in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm one person that just for the sake of integrity, I don't push something that I no longer feel aligns with my values. I really try and detach myself a lot from ego because it's just so easy for you to feed into that narrative of just I'm that girl. Don't get me wrong, I am that girl.
Yes.
But I'm that girl because of peace, because of God, because just for me anyways, because of God. Like it's not. And don't get me wrong, at the time I was new when I was writing the book, I wasn't saved just yet. I was newly saved.
Okay.
So when I started promoting the book and stuff like that and pushing it, it just got to a point when I was just kind of like, why am I doing this? And then when I realized I didn't have an answer, that's when I was like, stop the cameras.
I love that you're self-aware enough to realize that you did that out of retaliation and that's no longer who you are. And that's even something that, remember we mentioned yesterday when we were saying what could we discuss, what could we ask you about? It was integrity. How have you been able to maintain that integrity? Because you are someone that I definitely feel like has integrity, which a lot of people don't. They just kind of do things maybe for validation or do things because that's a trendy thing to do. But how have you maintained that, like, in your journey so far?
That's so good.
Yeah. How have you?
I would say my faith, 110%.
Yeah.
I do feel sometimes, having the reverence of God in your life will impact you drastically. Whether you have faith or not, just being a moral, grounded person will help you. So I feel like my faith allows me to have certain morals, which has helped me. My mom's a very moral driven woman. So is my brother. My brother's Muslim, but still he's he's got a lot of morals that allow me to just live my life morally, if that makes any sense. Number 2, I definitely would say my fiance. He's the most integral man I know.
Wow.
So he's
how
so
you both speak about each other, by the way.
Listen, I'm his biggest fan. And I
Aww.
wouldn't be the woman I am today if it was not for him. He came into my life and literally upgraded me.
Wow.
And I give him credit for that because before that I was very this independent woman. I didn't want to listen to anybody, blah blah blah. And I think a lot of people think because I'm this independent person online. Some people used to assume that I wouldn't be able to submit to him or wouldn't be able to listen to him. No, just because he's not a loud person doesn't mean that behind the scenes that he has to fight me. I trust his heart for my heart.
That's it.
So whatever he decides, I'm like, cool, we're going with it.
I love that.
So I think that's the most for him, integrity. Because I remember, I think when we were first going out, I can't remember. I think I was running late somewhere, and I just said to him, I'd done a little white lie. I said to him, just say we're stuck in traffic. He was like, no, we're not though. I said,
that's a man.
We're stuck in traffic. You better tell them that we're stuck in traffic. Because I can't remember what we was running late for. But when he came and said to me, but we're not stuck in traffic. I was like, wow, you're really integral.
Literally.
And I remember, I'll never forget that moment. I just got checked so differently. And I just thought, wow, I want to get to that level. That if I'm running late, let me own it. Let me own why I'm late. Not I'm stuck in traffic or whatever. So that was that level. And I think the third one, which you're aware about, is my excellence girls. The girls that I mentor. Because at the end of the day,
my sister's one of them, FYI.
Well, Mary Grace is my mentor. I'll tell you that.
I was just laughing.
She's my mentor. But one of the things I definitely would say is that when you have girls that are coming up after you, more than anything, I want them to remember that character will keep you in the room. Your skills and your talents will get you there, but character will always make you stay there. And one of my favorite scriptures is that a noble name is greater than riches. There came a time in my life where my only focus was making money. Money, and I've seen money in this life. I've seen money in this life.
She said,
but I'm half Nigerian a little bit. I'm not. But you know the ones that you're going with Nigerians. Yeah, I've got Nigerian spirit.
You know what? Yeah, Nigerians, we're so influential that even if you're not Nigerian, you'll begin to be Nigerian.
Yeah, I know. Omo jai. You know me? Hey. But in terms of when you have people around you, I remember when I can't remember. I remember having a conversation with them in a call, and I said to them sometimes I think twice when I'm about to do something. Let's say for example, there's a mess up situation. I always think okay, if I'm to mess up, okay, cool. The first person obviously I tell is God. Second person, my fiance. obviously it would be my friends and my family, but there's certain things that if anything happens to me, I think it would break them too. If you know what I mean? Like say for example, like this ain't going to happen. But let's say for example, I'm practicing celibacy. Let's say for example, I get pregnant before my wedding day, and I have to tell my girls I'm pregnant. Like,
Yeah.
Like, but you told us that this is what you would. Do you understand? And I think it's having that. They don't realize that they're my level of account. They're a different level of accountability for me because I have to. A lot of the things that I'm saying to them offline, they have to be able to see that. And I think for me, they're the ones, not just my excellence girls, but the girls that I mentor offline, they're the ones that keep me in check and they don't even realize it.
I love that.
Because I want them to also, especially in a hyper visible world, where everyone's just kind of like showcase what you're doing, showcase your skills and your talents, but no one talks about character. No one talks about being morally driven. No one talks about
being kind.
Having values. Being kind,
kindness,
all these
you know,
things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I can't ever be that person that like one of my biggest fears, I'll get to a place in my life where I'm gonna have, okay, the accolades, the money, but then those around me were just gonna be like, Hayley doesn't have time for me. She don't check in on me. She don't do that. And that is a scary place to be. It's a scary place to be where you'll achieve many, many things, but you won't have community around you. So yeah, I definitely would say it's the girls, the friends as well that I have, the community I have around me definitely help me stay integral.
And how do you, I mean, because you are quite visible, and you know, you've got a community, not just like, you know, excellent girls, but you've got like several communities of people who might look up to you or like look at your journey and have followed you for a while. How do you, I mean, have you ever felt pressure, I suppose,
100%.
to kind of still be integral, still have your face, still kind of keep it together in a way? Like, do you still feel that pressure because people are, I guess, still looking at you and still maybe have a certain expectation?
Yeah, definitely. There can be pressure sometimes, man. Hey.
I can imagine. Because I'm sure you're also active in church, right? I think I saw that you're, or maybe not as much, but I just know, so yeah.
Yes. I left my church last year. But prior to the church that I was in, I was a pastor.
Yeah,
so I was running
that's the last I remember of. That's why I thought,
Yeah, so I left my church. I left my church last year.
Okay.
And so but for me, it's basically being able to understand that ministry doesn't come with a title. Ministry comes with if you meet me and you don't know I'm Christian, can you still see Christ?
That's it. And again, it boils down to character, right?
Character. Like, if you don't know, I'm telling you right now, my brother's Muslim, but my brother has shown me Christ more than many Christians I've met.
Wow. That says a lot.
Do you get what I mean?
That says a lot.
I think it's very easy to kind of be like, I'm a pastor, I'm a Christian. And I'll be honest, like, even when I was running, and I'm sure some of my girls wouldn't mind me sharing this, even when I was running my fellowship when I was in Kent, the girls that were under my leadership, I hurt a lot of them.
Really?
And when I left my church, I sat down with every single one of them.
Yeah.
I didn't leave for those reasons, but I felt for self-awareness and for the conviction of what I felt at the time. I sat down with every single one of the girls that were under my leadership. I sat down with them and I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you went through that. I'm sorry that I put you through the pressures of doing certain things. And I just said to them, I'm sorry that I cared more about the ministry more than your soul.
Right.
I cared more about let's get people saved, let's do this, let's outreach, let's do evangelism, more than actually checking in on you and saying, how can I pray for you? How can I support you?
That is massive to be able to self-reflect.
Listen, Christ does that. I think when you really actually encounter Christ, not Christianity, but when you actually really encounter Christ, it's meant to be. He's meant to be a mirror. The word is actually meant to be a mirror. And I felt like at that moment, I never wanted to be. Church hurt is a real thing. Church hurt is a real thing.
I've seen stories. I've seen it. It's a very real thing that not enough people talk about. And I feel like nowadays, though, people are starting to become braver, which I love.
To speak out.
And speak out about it, because it's almost taboo.
Right.
Like, my pastor's perfect. I can't say anything bad about my pastor or church. You can't say anything about men of God. And my fiance challenges me on that all the time. He's like, Shade, they are men, just like you and me. They are a human.
Exactly.
They're not gods. Like, remember that. Like, he is, I could talk about Sam all day. He does not have it when it comes to stuff like that.
Sterling's very, very much the same, actually. He's actually the person that opened my eyes a lot to a lot of things that I was more or less facing at the time that I wasn't aware of. And I think for me, one of the reasons why I sat down with a lot of those girls is because I would hate to be part of their church hurt stories. And it's so easy as a human being to just, you don't realize it. You know, there's some people who've hurt me in ministry. But there's some people I've hurt. I'm not going to be the type of person to be like, oh, I'm victim mode. I don't believe in victim mode.
Right.
I believe in being able to own up to where you've contributed as well. Because I do believe there's always two sides to a story. So as much as it's kind of like, yes, they were victim and yes, I was victim, it's kind of like, okay, well, the only thing I can do, the best thing I could do is actually sit down and apologize for where I've contributed to your hurt. And I just always said to myself, I didn't want to ever be part of somebody's story as to why I guess they diminish their gifts or they close down their gifts. Because, there's a lot of gifted people who are in the world right now. And the reason, from Beyonce to Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, they all started in the church. But who knows why they left the church? They might have left the church because of the hurt. And imagine if they just had one person come and say, I'm actually really sorry that I hurt you there. Maybe Beyonce would be releasing gospel albums. We don't know. But we don't get me wrong.
Imagine Beyonce gospel. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I think about that often. I'm just like, with Beyonce's talent, imagine she was doing gospel.
Do you get?
And I know quite a few people personally that have left RCCG, which is the church I'm part of, because they didn't feel supported in their gifts. Now they're paying for like Burna Boy, or they're doing all this other thing. They're still Christian, I don't really know, but they're not as grounded in the church anymore because they just didn't feel that support. And that church hurt is so real.
I think churches as a whole, and I mean this like for the entire body of Christ, is we have to get to a place where we stop focusing on the building and we start focusing on the bricks. We start focusing on the individual. Because people, the building is kind of like, let's protect the building, protect the leaders, protect the man, protect the brand. But it's like the souls. Jesus cares for your soul. Like that's something that I've learned in this past year of everything that I've kind of faced. Just leading up to my wedding day. God cares for your soul. And I think I don't think people doubt whether God's real or not. I think people doubt if God loves
them.
I don't think people doubt if he's real. People know that he's real. Because look, whenever something happens, the hashtag is pray for Somalia, pray for Iran, pray for Afghanistan.
No, it's true.
Okay, so if you don't believe in God, why are we praying? They're always saying praying
So
be like,
true.
God bless. Like this is something that people are always saying. They know that there's a God. They know there's a higher power. But it's the doubt as to whether God loves, because we as his children, realistically, are we that loving? Even like yesterday, unfortunately, we saw that Kevin Samuels passed away. Whether you agree with his stuff or not, God doesn't even rejoice when we pass away. God hates death. How would we ever rejoice? Even God,
I didn't like that. Remember we were discussing it. I was
disgusting.
like horrible. No matter what you disagreed with, agreed with, you're not going to agree with everyone. A death is a death, and I just thought that was so evil. People it's final. You can't be rejoicing in someone's death,
and that's someone's son. Like that's someone's family member. Like even the fact that his mum came on, said to NBC that she found out through Twitter.
Really?
She found out through social media.
My goodness.
Oh God.
So you can imagine you're finding out your son's passed away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
this
people are making jokes and people are making
on
jokes
top of
you
that.
get.
And I thought to myself,
that's disgusting.
Like, you lot are, we've become so detached to humanity. I guess like we forget that everyone's human being. We all have emotions. Like no one's perfect.
That's it.
No one's perfect. Whether you're a church, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're Hindu, we're literally all trying to navigate life. We're all trying to find ourselves in the process of it. Like the women that we are now are not going to be. It's not going to be the same women that we are when we're 40. And I think it's important that you understand that everyone's still finding themselves. So even whether that's your pastor who's in his 40s or whatever, he's still finding himself. He's not going to be the same person when he is 60. And sometimes you just have to extend grace as people grow.
No, 100%.
Definitely. I love that. So to shift the gears a bit, I was just thinking comparison, because I know that's something I struggle with. Comparison, whether it's this girl's hair is nicer than mine, this girl's wedding venue is nicer than mine.
Ooh, don't get
her
me started,
speech,
gosh.
this girl's, I don't know, her Instagram is more popping than mine, her video got more likes. How do you, and it might be something that you struggle with. We all do to an extent, but how do you maintain that laser focus? Because it is hard. Like you said, all people do is scream about their accolades and how much they've achieved and what they've done. So how do you maintain that laser focus? Because I struggle.
No, I struggle too, actually, if I'm being honest. I think it's really important to have anchoring voices around you.
Yes.
So like my best friend's
Yeah.
one of them, my fiance. Friends I have around me are very anchoring voices. Just friends that just remind you where you're meant to be, what you're called to do, who you're called to be.
Yeah.
I think that's number one. Number two, sometimes just being able to come off your phone.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's so
hypervisibility
important.
is actually killing my people.
Oh.
The way people are too hypervisible, and I think there's the benefits of it in terms of, yes, you get shown more opportunities and you expand your network, but there's also the other side of it, which is kind of like people no longer understand depth anymore. They never understand perspective. They see things and think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And they need to remember that social media is a mirage. Like everything that people are posting is not necessarily true. So it's being able to also understand that I can't compare my offline life to something I see online.
That's it.
You can't compare you can actually not compare your offline life. Like something that's happened, I haven't actually shared before. My wedding dress is I love my wedding dress. I remember even it was the 5th wedding dress I wore when out of the dresses I was trying on. Out of all the dresses, no one had stopped me. No one in the shop stops me and said anything. But the 5th dress, I remember everyone in the shop was like, "Wow, this is your dress. Like this dress is beautiful." It's not different. I wouldn't say it's different, but it's got what do you call that? Nude, like a color of nude at the top. So for me, I was just thinking, I just want it all white. It's very, it's not. So for me, it's kind of like, no, I want it all white, like And I remember looking at it thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should just done an all white dress and stuff like that. But then I just said to myself, like, Hales, like, you never saw yourself getting married. Like, you never saw yourself.
I remember you sharing
I never
that
saw
on
myself
your
getting
blog,
married at all. I never saw that. I never saw that day coming. So I remember even when it came to the dress and the girls were like, what type of dress you want? I was like, I don't know.
Oh, really?
Like, I don't know. Yeah, they were kind of like, what dress do you want? Do you want an A-line dress? I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I remember going through so many different people's wedding dresses, and even now, like I'm seeing different wedding dresses. I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I should have got that dress. Maybe I should have got this. Maybe I should have got that. Maybe my dress is good enough.
We're
Maybe
going to talk about that because
maybe the dress is.
Get
and
me
I had to just tell myself, like, Hales, like, the dress doesn't make you make the dress.
That's
Yeah.
it.
The energy, the poise, the how you carry yourself on the day.
Yeah.
The obviously as well, we have to take in the makeup, the hair. We haven't
It
done
all
all of that.
comes
It all
together,
comes
yeah.
together. So obviously the dress alone, even if it's the plainest thing, your hair, your makeup, the vibe, your energy, the day, that is what's gonna make up for it.
I love that. I love that.
I had to just tell myself that constantly, because especially when you're in wedding planning mode, it's just so easy to look at it's just so easy to look at certain things and just be like, oh, like, why didn't I get this? Or why didn't I get this food? Or why didn't
Trust me. And you'll just be so confused. Like similar stories to my wedding dress. I got a wedding dress as well. I bought it.
Yeah.
It's very simple, but the style I wanted, but I'm getting like some stuff done.
Yeah.
So because it's shop bought, obviously they have multiple.
Yeah.
So I remember a couple of months ago, I saw a bride. She had the exact same dress. I said, Jesus. I took a screenshot, showed my mum, like, I was panicking, like, oh my gosh, mum, she has the same dress as me. Should I get another one? Like, my mum was just like, should I calm down? You're doing stuff to it. It will look different. Don't worry. She just said, and again, that's anchoring voices because I was in panic mode. And I feel like the indecisiveness that kicks in when you're wedding planning and you're comparing and thinking, oh, but she's probably going to look better. Or, but will people remember that and think, oh, do you know what I mean? So, anchoring voices is
100%.
Nah, it helps so much. It brings you back down to reality.
Yeah.
Same thing with trad outfits. I saw a girl and I absolutely loved it. And I was like, oh, maybe I should have done this style. Mine is too plain. Mine is too this. And you'll just get confused.
Yeah.
You'll get yourself confused and worked up and stressed and all. And
I think it's also about knowing what you want as well. So let's say with the wedding and seeing other, people's wedding and thinking, oh, maybe I should have done that. Really and truly, it's not what you originally wanted. It's what other people want and what you don't want, whether it's in wedding or even like career-wise. For me, what I'm trying to do even now actively is not mold my career in terms of like how other people's careers are, because at the end of the day, I mean, yes, I can copy, but is it truly what I want? Is it truly who I am as a person? So I think even with the wedding stuff, think about, what do you want? What is your style?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get lost in other people's sort of styles and what they would have wanted for your wedding, because it's yours at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if you like that dress, get the dress. If you like that style, that's fine. If someone else has it, okay, cool. You just share similar style.
Yeah.
It's
and that's
fine.
the thing with hypervisibility. It exposes you to opinions that are so unnecessary.
Right.
Like, you know, there's so like I remember when we got engaged, it was just after Love Island.
Okay.
And I remember people making comments about Tyler and Kaz.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So like they were like, huh, is this Tyler and Kaz? So I remember a lot of people were like re quote tweeting like Tyler and Kaz. This is like the Twitter's Tyler and Kaz. And I was like, God forbid.
Oh
Like,
yeah, exactly.
You like, oh,
Please,
guys want to say that.
label exactly.
But
label you as
yeah, there was
really
different. There was
cool.
different. There was a lot of weird comments like that, and I was thinking to myself like, you lot are weird. Like honestly, like I've
Social
just
media is a weird
encountered the
place.
best thingy of my life. You guys are just diminishing it to Love Island.
Love Island,
Ugh.
yeah.
Imagine, please.
God, please.
Like, please, we are more than that.
Right. And it was, and I remember even like, say for example, like the other day, Sterling must have tweeted something on Twitter and he was like, can't wait to make Black Babes this beautiful black woman
I
or something
saw
like that.
That
right?
was the cutest.
Someone
thing.
quote tweeted that and
Oh, there'll
called him a
always be
simp.
someone.
Called him a simp.
Because of what?
Because he wants to have baby.
Girl, don't feel bad.
And
Don't they call Sierra's
That's what I was
husband?
gonna say.
Yeah,
That's what they do with
exactly.
Sierra as well.
When, because do you know what it is? I feel like people have a lot of bitterness in them.
I think people, and
they
also
really
people are
struggle to see
used to
someone
toxic
show
love.
love. That's it.
Exactly.
People genuinely, it's like a shock to them to see a man actually showing love to his wife.
and truly,
or wife to be.
that's what they want for themselves.
Yeah.
They want their man to be able
It's
to say
rooted
something
in
like that.
bitterness. It's rooted in bitterness.
I don't take it. To be honest, I saw it and I laughed. And I just
Yeah.
thought to myself, like, we're so used to in society seeing, you know, Kim Kardashian has run through 4 different marriages.
Yeah.
It's not to call her out, but that's the person. The
Yeah,
person
no,
I've
it's
got for.
the truth.
But we're so
It's
used to
facts.
kind of seeing people run through marriages, pick them up and drop them down, where we're actually forgetting the sacredness of building with somebody for life.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not. So there's sometimes I lay in my bathroom just like, yeah, I'm about to marry this man for the rest. of my life.
Like it's not a 10-year contract.
It's not a 10-year
It's
contract.
not even a
It's
30-year
not-
contract.
Do you get? It's not like you look at it and be like, okay, all right, sir,
Yeah.
bye. Like you actually have to think about, you know, what you're committing to. You're building with somebody, and also this is going to be, you know, I'm marrying my husband to be on the basis of the fact that I know he's going to be an amazing father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's there's so many different. I'm logically marrying him as well. It's not just because I think he's good looking.
Mm.
I look at him and I'm just kind of like, can I actually grow with you? Can I
That's
become
it.
a better person with you?
Yeah.
And I think some people, unfortunately, especially as I said, hypervisibility, where people kind of like, I want a 6 foot dark skin, light skin, whatever they want.
Yeah.
People are picking their partners according to also what society's saying that you need in a man, which doesn't make any sense. I think it's super important that with everything you're looking to do in a relationship, like you have to have your values. Like, what do you want in a relationship? What are you looking to, how are you looking to grow? What are you guys looking to build? And if that is what you see in your partner, go for it. Not what social media is telling you to go for, and et cetera, et cetera.
That's it. I love that. And again, it's maintaining that laser focus. I'm in this for my own reason. I know why I said yes to my man proposing to me, you know, because it's just so easy that you can always compare. There'll always be someone taller. There'll always be a man that's more handsome. But is he kind?
Yeah.
Can he lead? Does he fear God? One of my things was I need a man that fears God, that has his own relationship with God. I'm not, of course we can grow in God together, but I desired someone that can lead me in Christ, because that's, you don't see that. You don't see that. It's very rare.
I asked for that exact same thing. You know, I honestly feel that, gosh, when I think about my fiance, I think he's honestly not even just the most integral man, but he's the most honest man of God I've met.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And
he actually lives, because I know he creates content to do with the gospel. He lives that.
And I'll be very honest with you. In terms of the celibacy journey, he's the more disciplined one than I am.
Wow.
I'm not like,
That's
babe,
hard,
just come
girl.
and just lips me. You're just because we haven't kissed.
Oh,
really?
No, we haven't
girl,
kissed.
you are better than me. I don't know how.
No, trust me, I want to lips him. I want to lips you like all the time. I want to start saying, just give me a kiss, like quick, just quick. Even when we got engaged, I whispered to him. I was even whispering to him when we were engaged. Just a quick one, just a quick one, not even for the camera, like just do a little quick one.
So was that initially like a mutual?
Yeah,
decision?
At the time, my pastor at the time, we had so my pastor at the time and his current pastor they had like a whole meeting and stuff, and they were like, because they were, I don't want to say they were quite worried, but because we were very close friends, but we were very where we were in ministry was I was leader of my church, he was the leader in his church. So it was very much kind of like, if we were to go through heartbreak, it doesn't just impact our hearts, it will impact the ministry.
Do you
understand? So it was kind of like,
pressure.
Okay, that is
like
pressure.
these, like you just has to be taken seriously. So we had like, I don't want to rules or whatever, but we had conversations where it's kind of like, this is things that we would adhere to for a few months or so. Initially it was kind of like, okay, we wouldn't kiss, we wouldn't do this and da. At first I was just kind of like, I don't know, like this is too deep, like we're just like this is thing. But now when I look back at it, it's not that I entirely agree with it, but it's helped me build discipline.
Of course.
It's helped me build
That
a lot of discipline.
discipline,
And for me, like, you know, when I was a bit younger, unsaved, like I used to lips a lot of big boys. So I just lipsing people over the gaff. When I was in secondary school, I just be lipsing people, linking being lipsing. So for this to be the first person I've been with that I haven't kissed, it's just kind of like, wow, I really love you. Because I'm actually about to marry you. And I've never even, you know, done something that I actually love doing. But then also, we've also talked about how like that also could lead to, you know, more sexual stuff and so it just kind of obviously to withdraw from that. And yeah, so that's what I mean in terms he's the most honest man of God. He definitely makes me want to be a better like Christian. It's just easy to kind of be with somebody who, you know, if they compromise their faith, you're more likely to compromise yours as well.
And I love that you're both on the journey together.
Yes.
Because it will be so difficult if you were like, okay, let's be celibate, and then he wasn't on it. Do you know what I mean? So it's good that you're both aligned, you're both agreeing. And I mean, your wedding is so soon. So girl, something to look forward to.
I'm looking forward, girl. I'm ready.
How are you feeling now, like in terms of the planning and just where you're at?
Well, obviously, as you guys know, I just came back from my solo trip. Now I'm a bit more calm. I think before that I was literally like nearly at breaking point. I was just kind of like, if I do,
I've been there,
bro. I was like, if I don't, it's either I'm gonna take drugs or go on holiday. Like, I was talking to my friend yesterday. She said something. It was so funny. I was asking her. She was saying, "Listen, Hayley, it's either I go on holiday or I sniff crack." And I was like, you know what? I hear it. I started laughing, but I was like, I actually hear it. It's either you have to take coke or you have to go on holiday. So I said, okay, coke. I'm not gonna do that holiday, but I think I'm definitely way more like calm, more at peace. I think the most important thing is being able to understand that you're building with somebody. Like the wedding day is a day, and the thing is that I don't care whether this is cocky for me to say or whatever. Listen, one thing about me, I'm putting an experience. My wedding's going to be an experience.
Come on. I'm sure my sister told me all about it.
Because at heart, I'm an events girl.
Okay.
So with me, even though, and I know what I want. So I'm very much kind of like, yeah, this has to get patterned. Okay, the guests are going to be like this. And I remember the first time I went with my wedding planner, they were like, what do you want your guests to experience? I was like, I want them to have an experience. I want them to feel I want every single person to feel like VIP. Every single person to feel like, wow, like I feel listened to, I feel catered to. So for me with the wedding day, I think the reason I was so stressed out is because for me, I want things a particular way. So that's when I was just kind of like, you know what, hell, it's like, it's not about the day. Like I had to let that go and be like, it's not about the day.
That's one thing I've learned in wedding planning. It's not going to go your way. Even if you get every single detail to the T down, something will go wrong. It's just something that I've had to just accept. I'm just like, life. It's life. It will happen. And if you start panicking over the little things, it gets out of control.
I've one of my biggest fears, and I was saying this to Sterling, is I would hate to get to the altar and we're burnt out. So that's why I had to take myself away, because there's a lot of people that get to the altar and they are tired because of just the lead up, the burnout and all that stuff, you know. So that's why even today, this season, I've just kind of said, I'm protecting my heart. Anyone can get at this point. You'll get blocked if you try me. Don't try
I saw your story and I was just like, yes, I get it. I get it. It really does get like that.
Bro, like this is the biggest shift I'm about to encounter in my life. This is honestly like this moment of my life. I'm never going to have this again. Like I'm never going to have this moment again when you're building up to be a wife. So anyone that is going to disrupt my peace in this time,
cut them off.
You can really
sorry,
go.
Family, no family, whoever you were to me, cut it.
Cut
it. Like, no, I'm so sorry. And I think it gets to a point where it's not even that I'm being selfish. I'm just being protective of my love. Because one of the worst things you can do, and I've spoken to so many wives about this and wives to be, I think one of the worst things you can do is enter into your marriage when you're burnt out, broken, bitter,
tired,
tired,
angry.
Yeah, like it puts so much toll onto something that's meant to be so beautiful. So for me, I just think, I have to protect that. I have to protect us. I have to protect me for the sake of us. I have to protect him for the sake of us. I have to protect us for the sake of us and our kids.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's being able to look at the bigger picture. So that's why at this point, I've had to tell myself, Hills, take time, chill out,
Cool down.
Love that. What's been the best part of wedding planning though? Like, what are you really enjoying?
Ooh, what's been the best part? I think it's my bridesmaids, you know. They make me laugh. Like our group chat, they make me laugh. My bridal party, definitely. Like we even had like a link up with the groomsmen and the thing. We had like a games night. We played Mafia. Got so heated.
We're having that scene actually.
Yeah, it was so
heated.
heated. It was so it's like I definitely would say like the synergy between the bridal parties is so important, and I'm just so happy that the bridal party get on.
I love that.
That was definitely the most important thing, and just my bridesmaids as well. Like just having conversations with them and just being able to look at a lot of them and just being like, wow, you lot are my sisters for life.
For real.
Because one of my biggest fears was falling out with any of my bridesmaids. It does happen.
It happens.
It happens
to me. I remember I was sharing with you.
Yeah. It does happen, but for me, it's sisterhood over bridesmaids.
Yeah.
You lot are my sisters, not my bridesmaids.
Yeah.
But you're my sisters becoming my bridesmaids. But you're gonna go back to my sisters
That's
afterwards.
it.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
So it's been because I've had some of my bridesmaids I had to swap out for different reasons, but they're still my sisters. Like one of my bridesmaids that I swap out, she's still seeing me down the aisle. One of my bridesmaids that I swapped out, she's due. She was actually due the day before my wedding.
Oh, like pregnant?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then it's kind of one of those things that's kind of like the type of where I'm gonna get you guys to be dancing energy.
Yeah.
With baby, I don't want to. Let's
Exactly. Let's be wise.
So yeah, so we swapped her out as well, and it's not, as I said, it hasn't been a thing of like, oh, like is there any pasta? Nah, like it's literally all good vibes. But yeah, definitely like the bridesmaids and bridal party.
How many do you have?
7.
Okay.
How many do you have?
10, but one can't make it anymore, so 9 now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 9.
Okay. That's good.
Yes.
Still
And Sam has 10 groomsmen. So one of you will be walking with one girl will be walking with 2 guys.
With 2 guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but you can still do it. No. Sorry, this is me going thingy. You can still do it in a way where he walks in with his best man.
But okay. No, but my sister's walking with me, and my sister's one of them. So that will then make 8 and 9.
So he can walk down with 2 guys.
As in, okay.
So he can walk down in the middle and he walks with 2 guys.
And I've seen, do you know what? I actually saw that the other day.
It happens.
Look at Hayley, the planner.
Thank you. Maybe I need to be talking to you more, Hayley, you know, because there's a lot of little things.
Girls,
like,
we are brides to be together, honey. That's what I'll be messaging you. I'll be like, Shade, that's what I'll be messaging you. I'll be like,
that's a great idea.
Just any way that can help.
Yeah.
I'll be coming to you, don't worry. And I even need you on my blog as well, so don't worry.
Yes.
No,
your
definitely
blog.
be there.
So you just it's tell us more about it.
My journey to wifehood.
Yeah. I love it so far.
Thank you. I literally said it's the rawest. How do you say that word?
Rawest.
Yeah,
it's a very odd word.
Yeah, it is a very odd word. It's the rawest version of me that you'll ever find on the internet. Because I think, honestly speaking, the amount of engagements, and I mean, I've literally even like yesterday, I saw like 3 different people get engaged. 2 of the girls that I personally know.
I saw you.
One of them, yeah. And I just thought to myself, like, a lot of us have grown up in an era where a lot of us were very independent. A lot of us come from, some come from single parent households. Some obviously our mums were independent or whatnot and stuff. And I just think sometimes it's just so easy to be like, okay, like, just to build in a way that you don't consider a man or you don't consider a family unit. So it's just being able to share my process of unlearning. So realistically, it's to not even just to cater to anyone that just wants to get married. It's more for anyone that is willing to check their areas of growth, vulnerability, and just being able to anybody that is willing to break out of the individual mindset and go more into collectivism. Because I think the world is becoming more toxic the more that we promote individualism. Right. Collectivism is a very powerful thing. Like I was even talking about the fact that, when we were younger, we had so many babysitters. Because collectivism was so rich in our culture. So many of us came from, our parents came from African countries. And even though, yes, they came into an individual a country that promoted individualism, collectivism was still in our heart. So there's many people at my wedding that, you know, I haven't seen them for years, but they raised me.
Yeah.
They raised me. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to miss you out, auntie, because you were at a pivotal point in my life. And I just want that to still be the thing. I want to be able to create a sisterhood, sisterhood, should I say, where, you know, when we have kids and stuff, like, okay, cool, even if you can't go to your mum, if you can't go to your brothers
You
and
can
stuff,
still
you can still go to someone thingy, and then the thing continues that I would love to be at my friend's, you know, my friend's child's wedding one day, because I was a part of raising them because of collectivism. Community is so important, and literally every single time I share something, especially even on my blog or on my Instagram story, anything to do wedding planning or whatever, so many people come up to me, they're like, we can relate. And I think the more that I guess we're open about things we're going through, we allow people to actually feel, oh my gosh, I'm not alone in this too.
That's it.
Because sometimes it can feel lonely. It can feel like the process is lonely. You start thinking to yourself, wow, like, did I make a mistake? Or is this or this, that? Because there's been a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of mistakes that I've made in this time, but this has been the growing pains. That's the best I can say. It's been the most, I do want to say it's actually been one of, as much as it's been the most beautiful process of my life, it's also been the most painful. Gratitude and grief is the best way to explain. It's been the best way to explain, I guess, this season. I'm grateful, but I'm also grieving. I'm grieving relationships that I've lost. Grieving the woman that I used to be. I'm grieving mindsets that I used to have. I'm grieving relationships that are about to shift. I mean, I'm moving out with my mum. It's only me and my mum that live together. I'm her youngest baby. So I'm going through that process of grieving. But I'm also going through that process of gratitude. I'm about to walk into a new family. I'm about to grow with my husband to be like, so it's bittersweet, you know? So yeah.
Love that.
So to end, we're just going to round up now. What realistic advice would you give to brides to be like myself? I've got a month left. So, no, but that what you said about the groomsmen thing makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like so much sense. But yeah, any realistic advice for...
I think if I'm speaking to myself, I speak to myself when I'm saying this, is just don't lose yourself in the process.
Yeah.
Like a great marriage will be because you are going to be a great wife, a great individual. And you can't change our partners. The only thing we can do is change ourselves. We can't change our bridesmaids. All we can do is be everything you want everyone else to be to you, if that makes any sense. I think that's something I'm constantly learning. Don't lose yourself. And number 2, God, man, don't lose your eyes on God. God is so faithful. And if you don't believe in God, start believing in him.
Yeah, facts.
That's the best thing.
That's all you can say, because you will need him. You will need process.
Bro,
you will actually need him.
You will need him. You have to. And yeah, man. And also the third thing is protect your environment. Have good people around you. Because your bridesmaids and your environment has the power to break or make your day, or break or make your process, should I say. So for me, I'm just becoming so protective of, like, I'm bringing the ones who are real in closer and those who ain't, are just there. So it's like, I have like security guards. Like I have my people that I'm just literally like rolling with like all the time. So I'm just like, yo, protect me from this energy, because
it's important.
Yeah, so I've got my people who are protecting me in this time. So it's cool.
That's amazing advice.
Wow, this has been so
thank
good.
you so
That could
much.
continue, but
probably the part 2.
Yeah,
with Bianca, girl.
I know Bianca will be back literally in 12, 14 days. So we'll arrange a part 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening, guys. This has been an amazing episode. Let us know what you think. Leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Hayley, thank you again for joining us. This has been fantastic.
Amazing.
And we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.